Gab didn't like my intro, so I turned the camera off, and she apparently can do it more concise than I can, so off she goes.
Oh my goodness. All right, okay, so we wrote a 60s track, didn't we? Tail end of last year, it was released this year, and we're planning to take it through the decades, through 60s all the way to the noughties. Now, we've taken a while to get to this point where we are officially starting to write the 70s track. And what we've decided to do differently this time to make the whole process more seamless is to give you weekly updates on our writing process and to try and more disciplined. We've basically changed work around so that we can prioritise
Did you just say try and more disciplined?
Try and be more disciplined.
But I have to start again. I'm not happy with this introduction.
This is what happens when you talk to camera sometimes. So we're going to try to be more disciplined because we've actually moved work around to make sure that our creative projects are getting more of a priority.
Well,
so
a slice of the pie because they were just a little dog shit skid on the floor. We're not complaining. We're trying to allocate more free time to make content. For me, what gets difficult is like Gab's busier than me, but she needs to be there. Otherwise, I'm just writing a song and then she has to like it and do vocals. It needs to be collaborative. But for me, I find it very difficult in the time that I allocate to do YouTube in and around the teaching and the other work that I do and the editing. It's like I can't put out something worthwhile at the end of the week if I spend the entire week just writing a song when that footage is supposed to be wrapped up after several weeks to put out. So why not just share it week by week where we're at, and then you get a little snippet of the song, and then at the end of it, it all comes together and it's released, and then it's more of a series rather than like a video per decade.
With Aubrey, what we were trying to achieve a little bit is obviously a lot of the artists that we love from like the 60s and 70s had the luxury of like being paid a whopping great fee up front and then literally becoming hermits and going to a studio and disappearing to like the mystical Wales for like, you know, months on end. And that doesn't seem to be the case for modern day artists. They are constantly put under pressure to, oh, when are you going to release your next TikTok? Drilling you down till you become more of an influencer than a musician. And we do think that takes away some of the sparkle and the magic that you get from kind of just separating yourself from society for a little bit and trying to figure out like, what is it I want to say, and without the interference of anything else. So I think that's what we were trying to achieve with Aubrey, but as it stands right now where we're at, we can't do that. We do have to be offering slices of content week to week, just purely to kind of, you know, stay in touch with you guys and keep you in the loop and, you know, have some communication basically.
Stay relevant.
It's a two-way street.
You factually get punished if you take a break.
Yeah, you do.
And it can kind of be difficult to navigate. If you didn't know this, now like labels they put pressure on artists, like Gab said, to have big social media platforms, to grow them, to be considered to be signed. And then if you are signed, you've got to maintain it. Like in the 60s, 70s, I imagine artists, like Gab said, they would go away and however they were feeling and whatever inspired them, they would write something and they would tell you what was relevant and cool. Now the whole world is expected to kind of like hop on these trends, and you stay so connected to it at all times that you don't really have anything unique to say. It's like, if you follow, I do not follow trends. You probably know that. Niche. Like.
Do you want some? I'm interrupting you, Flo, sorry. It's a trick.
Fucking hell. Gab laughs like a fucking, like a witch down a megaphone. If I was to just follow trends all the time, my content would get more views and be more popular. But I wouldn't enjoy doing any of it because I don't like these trends. It's like I just want to make what I want to make, what I think's cool. I want to write the tracks that come out based on my experiences. And like, I know there's a little bit of an arc to this series. It's 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties, right? We're being inspired by the decades, but that's fun.
You want that freedom as an artist. You have a responsibility to want that freedom and push the boundaries and dare to be kind of bold and brave with new content and just, throw it out there.
You probably know my channel. I don't really, unless it's a product review, kind of piggyback on what's going on in the world. I just kind of make content about what I feel like making content about. And that's what I want to do with the music. Write what we like and share it with you as and when. No pressure. And if you like it, great. If you don't like it,
get out of here.
Get
out of my pub.
Get out of my pub.
So what we liked about our 60s track, Aubrey, is that we did take that time to kind of develop it over a few months. Too long, too much time. That was the thing that was kind of wrong with it.
Gab's too busy.
But we liked the discoveries that we made with like changing the melodies and changing little guitar parts here and there and adding in some backing vocals like that just came from nowhere in the studio one day. That was really, really exciting to kind of have that drop in from like the collective conscious of like arts somewhere in the world. It was really, really cool.
I think we started to take Aubrey more seriously as we knew it was sounding pretty good.
Yeah.
So then it took longer, and then I was being more pedantic about changing drums, guitar parts, blah, blah, blah. Then it turned into a really good song, and then it was like, oh, we should take this to a studio. So kind of knowing the direction it's probably going to go in again. Who knows, maybe this time I might actually get my hand in my back pocket and be like, let's actually go and record your vocals in the studio.
We're just kind of navigating this day to day and seeing kind of where it goes, and just our main thing is to stay creatively like alive and have fun basically.
So before we wrote Aubrey 60s track, I reached out to my patrons and some of the YouTube channel members and asked for favourite bands of the 60s influences. So if you want to get involved, chip in for the rest of the tracks, you can do that by supporting this channel on Patreon. But 70s influences that came in, anything from Patti Smith, Fleetwood Mac, Raspberries, Aerosmith, Queen, Pink Floyd, AC/DC, Zeppelin, Eagles, Kate Bush, Caravan, Deep Purple, Rush, Boston Beatles, as in Boston and the Beatles, not Boston Beatles, I don't know who they are, Elton John, Television, the list goes on, Dire Straits, Nick Drake, The Who, David Bowie, and pretty much all of them we would have picked anyway, I would say.
Yeah. There's a few like newbies that we discussed. We mostly knew everyone, but there was a few newbies that we were like, ooh, who's this?
Yeah, I'd never heard Smoke on the Water before. That was a nice surprise for me when someone suggested that. But yeah, we've been listening to that playlist on repeat, trying to get into that headspace. So I'm going to share that with you now, and you can download that and listen to it. You know, it might help you kind of critique accurately. That's not 70s track, it's shit. Or, yeah, acceptable. I'm going to drag it in there at the end like I did with Aubrey. You won't notice it. It'll slip right in there. By the way, it's important that you know that these aren't supposed to be like tricking your ear into sounding like they were from the 60s or the 70s. I think there was a bit of confusion. They were inspired by, because obviously, you know, a lot of the stuff I'm doing is like limited gear at home. I know my Fractal can kind of emulate things throughout the decades, but, you know, I'm not recording Gab's vocals through vintage mic pre's in a proper treated studio. So we're doing our best, but it's not supposed to be, like I said, tricking the ear. It's just, can we listen to loads of our favourite tracks from the 70s, take inspiration, and then produce something as cool. So between now and me posting this video, whatever happens next, it will just kind of probably be me messing around, writing ideas, recording things. And it's trying to find that first idea that always bugs me. It's like, what is it, the main riff? Is it just a power chord sequence that Gab has a cool vocal idea over the top of? Or am I just going to kind of sit and write riffs with 70s sounding drum beats until something clicks? But I'm just going to share that with you, and you can kind of see all the stuff that goes straight in the trash, or that's cool, but it's not right. Save it for later. So yeah, wish us luck. Hope you enjoy the rest of the series. So I'm just flicking through our 70s playlist here, and I feel like a lot of the tracks have that instantly recognizable, iconic guitar riff. Or quite a few of them do. You know, if you think about like More Than a Feeling, you think about that kind of fading in, arpeggiated guitar riff. 10 Years Gone, Sultans of Swing, Ziggy Stardust, Message in a Bottle, Layla, All Right Now, Simple Man. They're all unmistakable from like the first 2 notes. There's no pressure here, is there? I've just got to sit in the corner and play guitar until I write an intro riff or a main, what will become a main guitar riff that, in my opinion, is as good as any one of those I just listed from the 70s. Who knows? It's going somewhere. Those were just some of my first ideas. No idea if we're going to use any of them. I kind of like the Mixolydian one that was in Trop D, and there was some. It was very varied, which I like. Maybe there's 4 bones to different songs there. 4 sets of bones. Sets of bones. Don't like that. Same old story though. I'm in on my own. Gab's fucked off to London to get some new headshots. So here I am, left to do all the heavy lifting. But yeah, I've since kind of come over to the computer because as freeing as working on the Fractal is, I have to watch about half an hour's worth of footage to try and get to the bit that I forgot that I liked. So it's a lot easier to do it over here. This is just another idea that's in the key of A, and I've just kind of put together like a little drum beat and some power chords. It's as rough as a bear's arse because I'm trying to figure out whether I like it. But you know what I think about the 70s, especially this is obviously very Page inspired, as its working title is Page with a capital A to remind me of the key. It's hilarious. But like stupid riffs were good riffs. So I came up with this, right? This is a stupid riff, but does it work? It's somewhere between a Led Zeppelin E side and the theme tune for a kids show based in the northeast of England. But yeah, does it work? Is it shit? Or is it funny? Does it just need a John Paul Jones style bass line and we're good? I mean, it's making me laugh. I'm enjoying myself. That's what it should all be about. Oh, there's a track down here called Shite. Let's see what that is. That's not shite. That's the best bit. I can do better than that. I feel like what I've done though is I've got like the start of Because the Night, Dream On, Bohemian Rhapsody, TNT, Highway, Stairway, More Than a Feeling, Sultans of Swing, 10 Years Gone, Because We've Ended as Lovers. Like I've got all these tracks in my head. Layla, All Right Now, Boys Are Back in Town. I just need to write a riff that is self-contained. You don't get bored of it if it repeats. It's unmistakable. It's very cool. It's a little bit tricky to play. And I think because the standards are so high, everything I do is either like in my head before I've even. The thing that's tricky is if I write the riff, I still think because it's unsupported by like your band, you don't have your band. You know, you don't have that like physical second opinion because I'm going to put the B part to it on guitar or the bass and the drums. Whereas if you had your full band, it's kind of like, you know, oh, that was sick, do that again. I think I can hear this. Does this work? Yes, it does. And it's kind of the weight in that amplifies those confidence knocking voices in your head, if that makes sense. You know, Highway to Hell, power chords, A. If I did that note now, I think, what are you doing? You're just tuning your guitar, it sounds shite. It's one of the most badass rock songs ever, isn't it? Anyway, that's kind of where we're at. This is my offering to you. Be interesting to know what your thoughts are at this point. Whether you think any of those ideas that I've done are worth pursuing or whether they're shite and I should just carry on. Part of this week's video was kind of talking about how we were going to change things to get to this point. And yeah, for me, this is just the reality of what it takes to write a tune, to kind of get started. Gab's back next week more than well, she's not here, is she? She's going to be in the house more than not being here. So I think she's great to have around, because she just starts singing random melodies over the top of the simplest things I do, and she's like, that's great, that's great, that's great. Whereas me, big self-critic, I'm like, no, no, no. But she can help bring things to life. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Should be an easy watch. And yeah, catch you in the next one.